The best laid plans always seem to go awry, and you certainly don't want that to happen when you're on vacation, thousands of miles from home. The September issue of ShopSmart Magazine shares some steps you can take to make sure you don't get stranded on an extended and expensive vacation. Joining us with more is Jody Rohlena. She's senior editor of ShopSmart Magazine. Jody, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So one of the tips is to consider a travel agent.
Yeah, you know, a lot of times we want to do it ourselves. We book online, but if you're booking a really complicated or expensive trip, it may pay to go through a travel agent, because then if there are crazy circumstances that you haven't anticipated, they can be really helpful in rebooking you or helping you figure out what your rights are, what your options are in case you are stranded.
I always think, oh, I can handle it. I can do the research and the work. But when push comes to shove and you're in a very stressful situation, they know the maneuvers and shortcuts.
They do. They can give you some suggestions, and you can handle it yourself, and we've got tips for that too. But again, it's just an option to maybe reconsider if your itinerary is very complicated.
Okay. Charge your trip. Use a credit card.
Yeah, if your airline goes under, for example, you'll really want to have that protection on the credit card. That means that you're not going to be able to get a refund or maybe a rebooking, but you will have some recourse through your credit card if the worst happens.
Okay, know your rights. I mean, you can just go to the website and print out just in case of a delay or cancellation.
Yeah, you want to find out what the airline is prepared to offer you, what kinds of circumstances are considered force majeure, which are the biggies, you know, and that includes a lot of things you might not have thought of. Maybe weather, maybe a strike, or even a mechanical problem can be something that is considered an event for which they don't have to put you up or reimburse you or even give you meals. So read the website. It's a lot of legalese. It's kind of hard to get through, but it pays to kind of know what you're in for, especially if you're traveling in the winter when you know weather is coming up, or if there's, you know, some uncertain situation in the country you're traveling to.
But the last thing you want to be in an argument with is somebody telling you it's just force majeure. So this way you have the guideline.
Yes, yes, bring it with you, print it out. It's a good idea. And if you have trip insurance, which you may want to consider, bring the specifics of that too, just in case you need to refer to it.
When you have a list of the do's and don'ts and the wrongs and rights, you just save a lot of energy and stress in the argument because you have it in front of you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, call ahead. I always hear people say this, but what does calling ahead really do? You call, you don't get somebody on the phone, and what's the point of calling ahead?
Well, you can do a status check. You can see if your airline is scheduled to go out, your flight is scheduled to go off on time. And again, in the winter, this is a really smart thing to do. If a flight has been delayed or canceled, and you can find that out before you leave home, you're better off knowing that.
Yeah.
You can also go online and check, and there are even apps for that. So call ahead, especially if the weather's iffy.
Yeah, especially if it's a cancellation, then you just saved yourself the trip.
Well, exactly, and then you can start to rebook yourself from the comfort of your own home.
Mm-hmm. But when it's delayed and you call ahead, sometimes they say, we don't know if we'll cancel, you still need to come. But
you still need to go, but at least you kind of know what you're prepared for. Maybe you can look at some other options for trying to travel later in the day. Mm-hmm. Maybe you want to keep your ride handy, or, you know, it's just good to be informed.
Okay, and another thing, you can always ask for help. Ask somebody, don't just assume.
Yeah, don't assume, you know, try to find out what's going on. You know, sometimes if you can get a sense of the timing or the circumstances, you'll know if you need to start trying to consider other airline options, or just, you know, really what's going on. You're better informed, and you're better able to make some choices for yourself.
Okay, and Jody, in the ShopSmart article, it said skip lines. This kind of goes back to having a travel agent. If you have an agent, they can kind of do the work for you.
Yeah, they can start with the legwork and, you know, get in the customer service line if you feel like it, but, you know, also call the airline, call your travel agent, see what your options are, because you'll be waiting in that long line, and you may get more faster help if you just start working on your own behalf.
Okay, and finally, just use your status if you're a frequent flyer, but be nice, don't demand anything.
Yeah, you may get some extra privileges if you've got an elite status, but of course you always want to be nice and not demanding, and, you know, see what they can do to help you out.
Okay, Jody Rohlena, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.